Right, early today I was doing a video on how to make these arc things. Apparently that's still processing at the moment, so it's not actually available on YouTube. YouTube is very slow at the moment processing videos for some reason. I don't know why. Hang on, my print's just finished. Turn that off so there's less noise. I thought about different ways of bending these steel laminations into this arc. Now, one way is to leave a lot sticking out one end and intersect it with the cores. I printed this out so it makes it easy to explain, but so I could have it sticking out so that it overlaps with cores that are in the bobbins section, which is possibly one way. The other way is to just grind them flat and have a good clean mating surface between the two. Just give us a sec, I need to grab something. Because the magnetism can be in very close proximity, and I could use a piece of ferrite, like a ring, and have them fed into the ferrite. So, oops, one's just fallen out because it's not stuck in. So I thought about having the ferrite coupling. I've actually 3D printed a few of these, look, with the rings and the ball. So that's one method, is to have the ball as the coupling and the ferrite rings, then the cores would feed into the middle of this ferrite ring. The steel rods would all be packed inside there, and that would act as like a plug, and I could easily unplug them. And yeah, the coupling would be so close to ferrite it would be as if there's no air gap there, because you can have air gaps in transformers anyway. So yeah, I've done 3 of these. Well, these are the main ones, 2 of these main ones now, and I'm currently working on the 3rd one, which I want to do with steel laminations, because I want to do them all with steel laminations really, but it's a bit tedious and it's a lot of effort, because I'm having to glue each one in place with my plastic glue, because they keep falling out, obviously, and I could subglue them, but then I don't want subglue on my hands. So what I'm actually doing at the moment is I'm sticking them in, and then once I've got them lined up the way I want them, it's a painful job really, because I've got flipping hair on me now. Go away. Right, so I'll mark that with my pen, and then I've got to cut that off. There's going to be a bit of waste material if I'm not careful. I had a bit sticking out, but I'm hoping I can still use that piece. So I've got to get I found out if I use the ordinary pliers to cut these off, it's horrible, because it leaves like a V shape on the end where it's cut off. So if I use my steel sheet cutters, come here. If I use my sheet cutters, it's much better. It's a much cleaner cut. It's more flat. It's not V-shaped when I cut it, but that piece is going to fly across the room if I'm not careful. So, alright, I stuck it in the foam so it wouldn't fly away, which is why I've got this foam here for. It leaves a nice flat cut when I use those. I don't know if you can. The lights. Just a minute. Let's see if I can let some light on there. Oh, it's too bright now. Move it away a bit. You should be able to see it's got a nice flat. Oh, damn it. I'll move it back a bit. Got a nice flat face on it when I use my sheet metal cutters, which is a lot better than the V-shape you get when you use pliers. So I'm getting a nice flat face, which is going to save me a lot of work later. So yeah, it's a bit of a tedious job, but luckily it's not going to be too long because these are 1.6mm thick, so it won't take that long to get them in there. And I've got, once I get it in the shape, I just squeeze it against the shape to make sure it's got, because I already bent it, you see, just to make sure it's as flat as possible against the shape. Oh, hang on a minute. It's a bit, I don't want to make these really long right now because I want to be able to unplug everything and to take things apart, you see. It would be a nightmare to get this apart if I so I'm just going to line it up. Then I'm going to use some of my glue to this plastic stuff that I made to hold it in place. A bit up there as well. So I'll leave that a minute. This is what I'm saying, it's extremely I'll have to check out yeah, a friend's sending me a link to John Hutchinson's videos on how he does transformer cores. It'd be interesting to have a look at that. Now I don't know if this piece is going to be long enough. It should be. Right, so if I stick that in there, this is the bit I cut off, you see. Now the trick is to bend it with that, oops, is to bend it around that arc. Which is a bit fiddly. I'm doing it with my thumb. I'm holding it with the pliers on the other end. I use these other pliers. I'm trying to show you what I'm doing with the hard to show you really, but I'm putting my pliers underneath there, then I'm bending it down. It's easier when I've got a long piece of bar, it's a lot easier, but I'm using a stubby bit, which is awkward. Oh, it's rotating on me. I need to go sideways. Am I in the pliers? No, I'm not. I just want the tip in the pliers, and then bend it. Pull it out. It's a lot easier to I haven't got the pliers on there now because the hole's holding it. There's a hole there where I drill through it, where I 3D print some holes. I'm just going to try, don't stab my finger. You know, it's actually a bit easier to bend it with and then put it in and then shape it. So I can actually bend it because it's quite thin. I can actually bend it in my finger and pliers. So I'm just going to bend it a bit in these pliers because it's just so difficult. and I'll shape it to the plastic afterwards, because I know what the arc should be. Yeah, the idea was to use that to bend it, but this plastic print is still a bit soft, you see, and I used acetone on it and it's a bit soft, so it's giving a bit, it's not very stiff at the moment, but I'm not worried about it being precise anywhere, as long as it fits. And I get that piece in, so I've got 3 there now. I'm doing the bottom rows first, obviously, because I can't get to the bottom rows once the top rows are in. And yeah, it's going to work. And then I get my pliers and flatten it out, squeeze it against the bottom. It's going to work. Yeah, so I'll just grind the ends off with my grinder later on to flatten it out. Or I could have pieces sticking out, which would be a lot easier. I'll show you the other way of doing it. The other way is when I'm using a long piece of rod, using a fairly long piece of rod, which is this one here, which you probably just make out, it's a bit thin to see it. The other way is to put it in like that, get it in the hole. Come on, get in. Because it's a longer piece, it's a lot easier. I've got more leverage on it. But then I want to make sure I've got enough sticking out that I can use that piece as well, otherwise I'd waste it. I'd waste a bit. So that's what I did last time. I left a bit sticking out so I'd have a bit left over, so I could still use that short piece. Then it's easy to grab a hold of that, you see. Actually, thinking about it, why don't I just go halfway down the rod, so there's half the rod out here and the other half the rod out there. I'll have less waste. I've just realised. So if I have half the rod up this way, the other half the rod out this way, and then I bend it, it will be a lot easier to get to. Yeah, that's going to work. Right, we'll try it this way. Yeah, that's going to work a lot easier. A lot less hassle. Yeah, I like that. So by using a full piece, it's no longer a full piece because I've already taken some bits off it. It's going to be difficult to get that out. Maybe. No, it won't. Actually, it won't be. Mark off where I want to cut it. I actually need to cut it there. I need to cut it there. So I'm figuring this out as I go along, because I was 18 years old when I worked in engineering, and there's so many things I didn't do there and I've forgotten about. Look at that perfect bend. Look at that perfect bend. So I just pull that out, get my that's perfect right angle bend, that. So that's the way to do it. My pliers coming apart on me, so I'll get my snips, my sheet metal cutters, find my marks. Can't see the blue lines. Right, there's a line. I just want to make sure I don't distant ply across the room. Just a minute, put the pliers on it. Trust me, they fly across the room if I don't put a weight on them. Put the pliers on the other end. On the other end. Right, I've got another bend. Woo, it's working. Yay. I'll get that in the right hole now. Which hole was I in? Must have been in that one. Get it right way around. For some reason it seems to fit better one way than the other. I need to get my pliers on it because I can't get it in the hole now. Have I got the right hole? Yeah, I have. I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah, there we go. Right, so that's the way I can do it. I'll move that back a bit because I pushed it too far. It requires a lot of patience. Oh, that one's falling out. Let's push it back a bit. Right, let me get my pliers. Squeeze that down a bit. The magnetism flows through these rods a lot better than it does in a ball bearing, that's for sure. Oh, that one's falling out. Oh, stop falling out, will you? Oh, I know why. That one's a bit long, it was cutting off. Actually, I could trim that off. Sorry I'm not using a very close-up high definition video at the moment because I'm using my other camera because the phone would get too hot streaming all this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark off those bits I want to cut down with my pen. If I pull them out a bit, actually I'm going to see if I can cut it off while it's in here. No, I can't get to it properly. I'll take one out. Here's my bin. Actually a magnet would be handy. It'll stop the it will stop everything flying across the room. Oh! Come on! Well, that worked. I just got a bit too close for comfort. Right, I trimmed that one off. I remember next time not to get too close. Right, I've got that one trimmed off. Use my magnet to catch the bits so they don't fly over the right across the room, because that's what usually happens. And you think, where did that go? And then the vacuum cleaner, because I've got a magnet on it, and it picks it up eventually. And I think, oh, that's where it went. Well, I still don't know where it went, but the vacuum found it. It's when they go behind cupboards that's when it's a problem. I'll take that one out. The piece that flew off is right here. I don't really see it. I'm going to the bin now. Right, I don't want to get too close to that, so I think that I was too far from the magnet this time. This one did fly away. Never mind. Oh, wrong one. I'd push another one out. Just push it in from the front. I'll show you a close up in a minute when I get this a little bit more I want to do a magnetic flux test as well with my magnet and my gauge thing on it, and just see how much flux is going through there. Yeah, that's going to work. Right, I'm using a bit of plastic stuff, but I'm going to have to put some more on because it's dried up and it's got disturbed now. So I'll take my pin out. Right. Got flipping hair on the end of my pin. Molting. Right, right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 in there now. It's hard to see. Oh, actually that's not so bad. You can just see the 4. Now, I want to do a little test. My magnets are, I've got magnets here, look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the magnets and I'm going to stick them on the end like that, and we're going to see. I bet I've got it the wrong way around. No, I haven't. Right, we'll see how much flux comes out this side. Oh, look, it works, look. That's a lot of flux. It's actually passing a lot of flux there. That's pretty good. That's better than the ball bearing. I'll prove it. Right, ball bearing one with the rings in. Right, this is the one with the ball bearing in the middle with the, it's the mouse ball actually, steel ball, and the ferrite rings. Right, we're going to compare that with this one. So let's do another visual, see how far that moves. It goes up to my edge of my thumb there. Right, let's stick this. I don't want to pull my wires out. Let's stick this on here. Same thing. It's weaker, look. It's not as far as a gap. It was sticking as well. It's actually weaker unless I push it further in. If I'm on the edge, which is the face, there's a small gap. I don't think you can see that because it's a bit bright. It's where the light catches. Right. Yeah, it is definitely weaker with the ball bearing. And a steel rod. I've only got a few in there. I haven't got the full population in there yet either. There's only what? I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 in there at the moment. There's going to be a lot more than that. It's going to be twice as many as that. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if you saw properly before, but because light's really bad. See if I can get the light better. I'll get it right around. Well, yeah, it's about. It is slightly better. This is sticking a bit. Anyway, At least I found a better way of doing it, because I was struggling earlier trying to I've got two pieces of steel now, which is, oh shit, I've just realised something. Every time I do this I've got to split these rods in half. Oops. Oh well. Well, don't suppose it'll matter. I'm still going to end up. I've got plenty of them. So if every time I end up with half the rods are getting shorter and shorter, it started as one rod, now it's two rods. But it's the easiest way of bending them, that's for sure. I'm not going to waste any of it though, that's for sure. I can use some of it as packing later. Right, have I got my angle? Yeah, I've got the angle. Just mark this off. There's no easy way of doing it really. Because as you stick more rods in, the curve gets larger and larger slightly. I need to put pliers on that. Pliers, where have you gone? Oh, that's why I'm picking hairs up off the floor. It's when these things fall on the floor. Vacuum should have picked that lot up, didn't. Right. Okay, I've got another curve. I mean, another way of doing this is to use my wire bender. I've got a wire bender in the other room actually, but the trouble with that is it's not going to compensate for the larger curve, because the curve gets bigger and bigger as you come out. So that's the problem with using that. That's why I'm bending it in situ, you see, because every curve that you do on top of the next one is slightly larger. The circumference is slightly bigger. Actually, I can feed this in from the front, it'd be a lot easier. And then, which one did I do? Was it that one? I think it was that one. Yeah. Yeah, it's working! Right. Okay. I think actually that one was, I think I went in the other hole. I was in the wrong hole. It's a bit short, isn't it? Oh! Bloody hell, where did it go? I nearly lost it. I was in the wrong hole. It's actually this hole here, because it was a bit short, and I thought, that's not right. See, that's what happens. Right, that's the right hole. Yeah, that's it. That is the one. Must admit this is a real pain making this, but I've got to do 4 of these. Ferrite, I've tried ferrite on a previous miniature version, and it was crap. It lost most of the flux on the corner, but actually the configuration was different anyway. The coils were on the other side, the magnets. This configuration, the coils are on the front end, the magnets are at the back. So I realised what was wrong with my early design. You need the electromagnetic coils to shape the flux lines, to actually actuate the flux lines. If you're on the back of it, you basically got a firewall, and it blocks the power factor. Anyway, we'll see. Anyway, I'm trying to bend this in a bit more. Oh, I've got this in the right hole. I must have. Yeah, that's right. I'm pretty sure that's right. It's getting a bit springy. I'm not worried if I shoot. You see, what I wanted to do is get all these bits of wiring, get them all stuck together as one solid piece, and at some point I'm not forced to have all these holes on the end. I just want to get them all shaped in a big bunch together, like a bunch of bananas, and glue them all together. I'll probably use super glue later, but I don't want to use super glue right now because it'll end up all on my hands and everything. And plus it might stick to this and I'll never get it out. The plastic is pretty good because it's I can trim it off with my knife. Right, I'm just going to have to hold it with pliers until it sticks a bit, because it's bouncing out a bit. I haven't got it flat enough. You see, because I've got, that's not so bad. That's better, it's drying a bit. I've got little ears on it now so that the ears can sit in there. I'll try and show you. Actually it's stuck a bit now. So what this does is you just slide it in here like this, and these ears can be bolted to the side like that. So the steel comes out one end, out the other end, like that. But as I say, I could have a ferrite ring on the end like this to greet it, to couple to it, like that if I want, because when you've got coupling that close it works pretty well. As I found out in my other stuff anyway, you only have to have a piece of ferrite close. Now I'll show you what I mean. If I stick that on there and get my magnet, hang on, I don't want this crashing into my magnet, just a minute. I'll stick my magnet on the end of this piece of ferrite. Get this right way around. Which way is it? I want it on that side. Right. Stick my ferrite up against that, like that. Right. And my steel's on there. Ooh. Need to get these ears in the middle. I'll put my little finger under to hold the magnet in place. Right. I can't do this without dropping the damn magnet. It's going to be the tricky part, because it's attached to that ferrite, so it's not going to stick to this very strongly. Right, get my... if I can do this the same way, let's see. Yeah, it works pretty well, look. Let's check it. Yeah, it works pretty good. So we can use ferrites as a coupling. Right, anyway, you've seen the basic idea. Each time I do this, each time I split these rods, they get shorter, but I'm hoping that by the time they get to a certain length, I'm not going to use them anymore, because the reason for that is when these rods get to a certain length, say that length, I'm probably going to save them for the through rods that go between right through here, this section. That way I won't waste them. If I keep on breaking them in half, I'm going to end up with a load of waste material. But if I leave them that long, I won't end up with too much waste material, because I can use that for the part that goes through here, this sort of thing, if you know what I mean, like that. So if I leave them at a certain length, I'll have little ones to work with when I'm doing this, and I'm not going to end up with loads of scrap on the floor. So, come to think of it, that one is pretty short now, but I can get another one out of this one though. I'll probably put that one aside. So what I really need is something to put them in. Well, I've got just the thing actually. I've got a talcum powder. I've got a talcum powder box here, it's empty. Well, there's not much in it. I can basically just drop it in my talc thing and then yeah. Or if I want to take a bit more out of that, because I could get another one technically out there, because I don't think these rods need to be that long. Let me see. We'll work out these coils are actually pretty short anyway. But I've already put some short coils for the middle of these. I was testing this the other day with these coils on. I'll just get this off. If you look, I already put some short coils in the centre there of that one. They're just short because they couple with a ferrite, just like I was showing you before. So these coils have a ferrite on this side, and they couple up with the ferrite like that, then more rods are going to go inside the ferrite and couple with that. That way everything's plug and play, I can unplug everything. So the other steel is going to go around the inside of the ferrite, if you see what I mean. So that way I don't have everything joined in one solid lump and think, oh shit, how do I get this thing apart, sort of situation, which I don't want to be in that situation. I just want to be able to unplug everything and pull it apart easily. But as long as we've got close coupling, we should be fine. So anyway, the only other thing was I was also thinking about bigger coils that would go further out, which would encompass these steel that goes through there, because at the moment this steel will be on the outside, so I can't really use that unless the coil was bigger and went around the outside of those, because it would just probably cancel it out, I think. I'm not sure, we'll have to find out later. I'll do an experiment by adding them and see what happens, but it might just push towards this coil on the other side. We'll have to find out. It's all part of the experiment. So I think I'll leave them at that length for now. I don't want to get them too short. I'm going to end the stream because it's going to get too long, and I did a video earlier today and YouTube is still encoding it. It's taking forever. It took, the other day I did a video and it didn't get encoded until the next day, and it said this video has just been released, and that was the day later. And so yeah, these videos I need to keep them short. Okay. I can't see the chat at the moment, by the way, if you're talking to me, because I'm using the computer. Let me just check and see. I'm just checking on the computer to see if it's showing anything up. It's taking forever to load. Well, try opening that and I better mute. The chat's not working on the computer. It's just slow. Thought I'd better check while I'm still live, otherwise usually it disables. Oh, it's alright, there's nobody chatting in there anyway. That's fine, because I'm going to go now anyway, so don't chat to me now because I won't be able to see it. It usually disables the chat when I do use the computer stream, I think. Anyway, so that's the plan of action. It's just keep building up these steel rings and just use my ferrites to couple them to it, and that way I can swap them out quick. And I'm not going to pack them solid really, I won't need that many because they're already more efficient than the ball bearing, as we saw. The ball bearing really loses a lot of flux because the flux is going in omnidirectional directions. And I'll show you what I mean by omnidirectional. If I stick this magnet at the right end, if I stick this magnet on here like that, and I get my gauge thing, no matter which direction this is, if it's there, on the side, all pretty much the same from the other way, so it's the same there. until I reset it, it sticks. So the ball bearing is omnidirectional, which means you lose flux everywhere. Right, goes everywhere. That's what happens with balls. But not with the steel. The steel is different. I'll try and show you that. I'm trying to rotate this without changing the distance. Just a minute, reset it. Let's come into about here. It's hard to do it. Oops. It's sticking, it's not showing properly. I'll try doing it vertically, it might not stick as much. Right, it's coming out. Yeah, look, it's coming out more. You'll be able to see it now, probably. Stick it at a slight angle. Right there. Sideways. Oh, actually, it's coming out sideways as well. But generally speaking, there's more flux coming out the end. I think it's hard to show that. Let's try it with my file. Oh, shucks. Alright. Actually, a little ball bearing would show that probably better. If I can find a small ball bearing. Right, ball bearing. Oops. Obviously it likes the magnet more. Trying to show you this. I'll stick it around the side there. It's hardly sticking there, look. But it wants to be on the end. If you look, it wants to be on the end. Or the magnet itself. So it wants to be on the end of the steel. See what it if it likes to be on. Oops, see, it prefers the magnet to the outside of the steel there. So, right. So it's not sticking as much on the side, on the back. Oops. Can't get it out now. Yeah, it's definitely sticking better on the end. Oh, on the magnet, obviously. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go. We'll be back later. I've got a lot of these to make. So, bye for now.